Okay, perhaps we can just start with a little bit of an introduction to the company. How long you've been around, what sort of things you've been up to, any key milestones and that sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah, we've been around since 2012. Private ownership. It was started as a opportunity that the prior ownership found to take this micro armor technology, patent the technology in the US, and find solutions where the commodity brands of fiber optics just weren't cutting it. So they started the company in 2012, stayed pretty local, grew the business as it grew, and did an amazing job getting this micro armor technology, which, like I said, it's patent protected. It's our technology, and it really allows for the cable to be smaller, easier to install, more flexible, harsh environments, rodent resistant, and they just saw this opportunity to go after the underserved harsh environments when it was created. So then in 2022, the ownership said, you know what, I need to scale the business. So they sold it to private equity. But what it did was it gave the private equity group an opportunity to look at those 2 years of ownership of the company in 2024 and say, we need to bring in a professional CEO that knows how to scale a business, that has done transformative management, leadership driven, worked for big companies, small companies, and everybody in the middle, and has experience in the fiber optic, telecommunications, and wired cable industries. I started in 2024 September, and we've been transforming and reinventing the company ever since.
Okay, and I don't know whether it's the sort of culmination or that or the next step in the process, but you fairly recently unveiled your 2025 forward plan, and I believe the focus there is for the company to remain at the forefront of next generation cabling and connectivity. So yeah, talk us through the forward plan in more detail and that sort of ambition or aspiration, yeah,
Sure.
what it means in
Sure.
practice.
Yeah, our forward plan is instead of staying very focused towards the today, it's being on the forefront of fiber optic innovation, right? Using that micro armor technology that, again, it's patented, it's ours. We can do anything above the armor and below the armor that solves the need of this industry. And because fiber optics is in an absolute boom between the data center needs and AI, and now the costs have become basically neutralized against copper. A lot of the industry is saying, why use copper that has limitations of speed, and let's go to fiber. So what we like to pride ourselves on is we're not really, although we're a fiber optic company, we're a solutions oriented telecommunications company that's using that micro armor to find solutions into the industry. So, that forward plan that we just rolled out, our mission vision, is to make sure that we can support that futurized telecommunications industry with our patent protection product. What we're focusing towards is moving our business towards end user collaboration with TiniFiber, where we're going to the end users, whether it's a hospital, a school system, an enterprise building, telecommunications companies, cellular providers, and we're showing them the technology and saying, you need this durability within your system. And then that tiers back to us through whether it's distributors, assembly houses, OEMs, contractors, and we solve the solution, or we solve the problem rather.
Okay, and in terms, I mean, I think you've alluded to one of the most obvious there when you talked about data centers AI, but in terms of challenges or turning challenges into opportunities, what do you see as the main ones for the cabling and connectivity at the moment? How's the market sort of shaping
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, there's a major density problem because the AI and data centers are trying to put more into that footage, into that square footage of a facility. They're needing to miniaturize everything. So our micro armor technology allows for that miniaturization to occur. They're finding that cable needs to be everywhere. They're finding major problems in needing a more durable solution where fiber can be just inherently fragile. where that armor can be installed into not just one area, but into many areas of hazard within a data center or an AI facility. The racks in these AI centers, they pull in and out. Well, those are pinch points. We solve that problem. Coming in and out of those facilities, we solve the problem of rodent resistance. We can go under the ground. We have a direct burial solution. We're in all those areas where they're needing smaller, they're needing to be flexible, they're needing to be nimble, if you will, and we solve it across the board. Um, AI has got a major problem. As a matter of fact, I just got off a call with an AI group that we're using internally in our business. And what they're saying to us is, as a user of AI, because our company uses it as a tool, it's advancing so fast that the data processing can't keep up. These supercomputers just can't keep up with it. So what does that mean? More interconnection of fiber optics between the systems, and we solve that problem.
Okay, and you've mentioned obviously the micro armor fiber. It's your core technology, and I mean you've given us a flavor of it, but perhaps you can just re-emphasize or expand on the major features and benefits of the
Sure.
patented technology.
Absolutely. Yeah, what our technology is, it's a spiraled armor, and that spiraled armor is manufactured in stainless steel, so it creates a conduit. But unlike our competition, we're able to miniaturize it against the traditional product that's out there, which is aluminum. So the first benefit that we like to show people is rodent resistance. Aluminum is not rodent resistance. A rodent over time, especially rats, can chew through the aluminum. Stainless steel, they cannot. We have found we are resistant to a slew of rodents, and we say it that way because our customers are telling us. We've heard about birds, we've heard about rodents, we've heard about wild animals. Um, the compounds are attracting them. There's natural chemicals within the compounds that are attracted to rodents specifically. So we're finding that as a major benefit. The spiral, the way it's manufactured, creates a situation where it's now flexible. So flexibility and the miniaturization allows us to have an ease of installation where they can turn around very complicated pathways and use our product, where in traditional products that are very unflexible, we solve that issue. Um, Tying back to that is the miniaturization of the product. So we are 60% smaller than the traditional, which allows us to be installed into tight areas and smaller areas. And when you look at the congestion that data centers and AI are having, we 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 can handle congestion within pathways, which is what they call it. So the cable pathways, you could put in 700 plus strands of fiber optic from ours versus less than 100 of our competitors. So we're really able to help the explosion of AI data centers with congestion. Um, we also, because we're smaller, miniaturized, we're lighter. So the ease of installation is faster. You need one guy to pull versus three. So your installation costs go down. And in a large high-rise complex, you can carry a reel of our product when you need a crane, and you need to schedule time to move product through industrial elevators or cranes, what have you, from our product versus our competitors. So ease of installation, cost, durability, flexibility, miniaturization, those are all the benefits.
Okay, and you've given a good comparison against what else is out there, which is great. In terms of the application, I mean, we've already sort of mentioned, and you've mentioned a few, but are there a mixture of what I'd call sort of traditional core applications for you, and then are there some emerging ones you're seeing, as you say, with the data center AI is obviously a big opportunity, but just give us a flavor of sort of core business applications
Sure,
and what else
sure.
you're
Yeah,
thinking
when the
about
company
might take off.
founded, it was very focused towards enterprise, which means these large facilities that have data rooms that have an AI or a data center within their facility. So schools, hospitals, universities, large institutional buildings like in a city. They all have data rooms. That was how we were founded. It's traditionally called the enterprise side of the market for us. But what we're starting to see is because of that micro armor, we're starting to see a massive expansion of areas our product can go, whether it's camera systems, right, which are critical circuits. So one of the features and benefits I did omit was security. The micro armor allows for security to the insides of the fiber. So we're seeing security with cameras and security systems. We're being used for small cellular nodes. And a big area for us that's booming and basically a very emerging market for us is stadiums. They're starting to put Wi-Fi nodes inside stadiums to have congestion or that density of Wi-Fi signal for the patrons visiting the arenas. We're solving that problem. We're now heavy in direct burial applications where we're interconnecting buildings. And it's a wet, dirty environment. They require UV from the sunlight when it comes up, but it also needs to be um, protected under the ground from water and just the acidity of the application. We've solved that problem. So again, we're less of a fiber optic company and more of a solutions of application. We're on antennas for cellular, which have a lot of problems from moisture, weather, rodents, birds. We're solving that. Um, we're heavy into airports where we are seeing a lot of issues in the terminals as well as in the runways because now they're putting a lot of sensing systems out there. So indoor, outdoor, we have low smoke versions as well as indoor options, both plenum and riser applications. So we're solving every area of application. Um, we've just relaunched our website, which has what we call the cityscape, which shows all the applications where our product goes. Um, we're in everything from solar to industrial plants, factory automation. So it's pretty wide.
Yeah, and in terms of the company's coverage, are you a global company? You're represented across the globe, or is areas you need to sort of expand into, or yeah, just give us a flavor
Yeah.
of where,
We're currently in North America, doing a little bit in Latin America, a little Mexico, South America, but primarily focused in the North American market, US, Canada primarily. We've I wouldn't even say we've dabbled in it, but we've done very little in Europe.
Okay, in terms of the roadmap, then, what can you share as to what the future looks like for you, whether it's developing more innovations and or growing the company's profile, I guess. What can you tell us?
Sure. Yeah, so since my start with the company, we've been really shoring up the company and building a high performing sales and operations team and manufacturing group. So our focus is to really over the next couple of years is to become a very strong organization of people because the people are really what get any business done. Even if you have the best technology, and we've seen it from time after time again, where great technology, bad management, or bad visionary leadership, companies just don't go anywhere. So our focus for the next year or so is to really make sure that we have the high performing team, great individuals that know how to take our company forward. And following that, we're looking at, being a partner to the industry, right? Instead of just trying to get more market share, we want to be, and of course that's our objective, but we want to be a partner to the telecommunications industry. And really, we're a small player. So being that partner will allow us growth. We are looking at acquiring businesses and expanding in different areas of whether it be the US through manufacturing, distribution services, or contract manufacturing. We have a small contract manufacturing business within our business here in New York, and we're looking at expanding that as well. So it's becoming more of that partner. I really like that phraseology because it's more of just trying to get a order or a customer.
Okay, so I suppose that maybe finally, I mean, might be unfair to ask. Hopefully, we'll touch base again in the future. What would you hope to have achieved, if you like, in the next year or so in terms of moving the company forward?
Yeah. So our major focus within the organization is spec ownership. Um, So for us, that next couple of years is to really have that engagement with the contracting, architect, end user industry where they really understand who we are and what we do from a value prop perspective and really owning that spec. And ownership of the spec will allow us to financially grow. But having that relationship is really how we're going to do it, is that spec ownership.
Okay. I mean, it's been great to chat, and thank you so much for sharing the insights into what's going on at the
Yeah.
company. It sounds an exciting time for you, and as I say, it would be great to chat maybe at the end of the year, see where you're at. But for now, at least, Tom, thanks very much for your time. Thank you.
That's great. That was fantastic. I appreciate it.